first layup is good. Welcome to the Ram Report with Tim Miles. Sebastian fires and hits. The putback is up and good by Horna. Right down the lane, throws it down. Eichmeyer goes left baseline, step back two, no good. Put back, dunked by Hornum. Greg Smith fake the three, times inside, lays it up, count the bucket with the foul. 0.8 seconds to go. Rams are going to win this. Now, just a fantastic atmosphere right here at Moby Arena from this past Saturday night as the Rams got the big win over Wyoming. And with that, we welcome you in to another edition here of the Ram Report with head coach Tim Miles. I'm Brian Roth, your host. We'll talk about that game against the Wyoming Cowboys here coming up in just a moment. But it was one of two games that the Rams played. And Colorado State earlier in the week was up at Taco Bell Arena taking on Boise State. And Rams would lose it in heartbreaking fashion, 70-69. Tim, I hate to have you rehash that game. I know it's one of those you just like to put out of your mind forever, but obligated to. So
it was a real bean burrito served cold, wasn't it? It was a tough one. You know, you have to credit Boise. I thought they played pretty well. They jumped out on top of us early, got a big lead, 10, 11 points. We got that down manageable at halftime. You know, then we played all right for a while in the second half, and then at the, you know, we just had a bad stretch at the end. We got down 8 points. We went to a 4-guard lineup, stormed back, and took a 3-point lead. And you really thought we had a chance to win that ball game, and it just didn't go the way we wanted to down the stretch.
Yeah, Derek Marks gets the game winner. Your thoughts on the final 6.5 to go? You guys are up 1. He goes the length of the board for the game winner.
Well, I'll back it up to our last possession because I think that mattered too. We had a 3-point lead, then we didn't. We gave up an easy basket for a 1-point lead, and then there was about 6 seconds difference in the shot clock, and we brought the ball down. And I called timeout with about 18 seconds on the shot clock because I was waiting to see if Boise was going to foul, and they didn't. So we knew we were going to have to run clock, and I called a play that was a multiple pass play, and it got messed up. And you know, and then there's a no call that goes out that kind of blows the play up. So I screw it up. We don't get a call, and when you're depending on things like that, you're in trouble. So we don't get a very good shot, and it's a shot clock violation. Now there's 6 seconds left. We pick up Derek Marks, retreat immediately, which was not the plan. I think it was just you know, kind of a force of habit by Dorian Green, and then Marks gets to his left hand and makes a tough shot. So it was a disappointing night on a lot of levels, and we kind of all in about 20 seconds screwed it up. And you know, it's sad to think that we're 3 possessions truly when you consider TCU and Boise from being 1 game out of first place and 1 game ahead of 3rd place. We'd be alone in 2nd right now, but that's not the way it is. That's not reality. That's why you play the games. That's why you have to go out and figure out how to compete and how to win on the road. And unfortunately, we haven't done that yet in the league. And I don't know why, if it's because we're too small or we just seem to make a mistake here or there that gets us. But I thought the last 2 road games we played well enough to have chances to win, and we just came out over.
Yep, you did. Talk about the performance of Wes Eichmeyer, though. Went for a career high of 30 against Boise, and it just seemed like, especially late in the game, boy, you just got the ball in Wes's hands and let him go.
Well, unfortunately, and this is, you know, Wes was the only guy that was doing it. You know, we just didn't get anybody else to help him out. But Wes was a dominant player in that game, looked like an all-league guard to me. He was just so good, and I should have just gone back to one of the simple actions we've been running for him that we've been getting. And at the same time, I wanted to have the very last, you know, shot that we could. And Wes was amazing. I thought he did a very good job. I thought Jesse Carr played one of his best games in league play also.
Well, after a tough loss on the road at Boise and at TCU, Colorado State looking for a bounce-back game on Saturday at a packed Moby Arena. They do just that. They bounce back with the win over Wyoming. How about the atmosphere in here? Sold out arena third time in the past 2 years, and you were able to send the home fans home happy.
Well, if you could define what you want college basketball to be about, I think you define what happened on Saturday night. You have 2 rivals that are good teams, both playing well, both playing very hard. You have an unbelievable crowd and an atmosphere, and then you have a special occasion like an Orange Out night, and we have our alumni, our former players back, which was Legends Night. You put that all together, and it was an amazing experience, especially when you come out on top, you know. And it really was. It even gives me chills just sitting here talking about it. And I forgot we have our dancing band man. Joe was back doing his deal at the under 4 timeout.
Yeah, we'll talk about Joe in just a little bit here, but you look at the highlights and you just see sea of orange. And I thought they played a pivotal part in the game because you started out slow. Obviously, Wyoming takes the arrow to the basketball. They're a good defensive team. You didn't take the lead until nearly 33.5 minutes into the game on a Greg Smith 3, but your crowd, I thought, really buoyed you the entire game, but especially when you took the lead.
Well, you need to add 40 minutes to that 33 because we didn't have a lead at all in Laramie.
73.5 minutes.
So we're 73 minutes of us not having the lead, and I think the crowd kept us hanging in there, honestly. And finally, the relief when we got that lead with just under 7 minutes to go, our guys were like, oh, we can do it. We can get ahead of these guys, and once we get ahead of them, we never gave the lead up again. And I thought that was really important for our players, but there was no doubt the energy from that crowd was phenomenal. They were on their feet probably more than I'd ever seen them. My parents were in town watching it, my sister.
I had a chance to meet your parents. Tip and Alice were there.
Tip and Alice, my sister Karen, and they were just like, that was, Tim, that was so cool. And it was just, it was such a special night.
Yep, Greg Smith led the way with 14 points. He was our player of the game, and he had that decisive go-ahead 3. We'll highlight the junior from Omaha and look ahead to what's coming up here this week, a big battle with New Mexico looms. That's coming up next. Stay with us here on the Ram Report.
Can't get enough of the Rams? Get all the latest updates at csurams.com. Check out videos, analysis, breaking news, and more. csurams.com.
Up here, there's something that makes the remarkable an inspirational thing.
Taking our work with this out of the lab and putting it into these all over the world.
Chasing tornadoes from the shadow of the Rockies.
A special sensitivity that revolutionized an industry.
All of this in a great Colorado town. It's an exciting place to live and learn!
Colorado State University. Inspiration happens on higher ground.
Twitter's great. Here's one. The Rams won, and I got my painted stuff on TV last night. The bad news, this stuff ain't coming off, and I've got a job interview. Are you Big Rammy?
Yeah, that's me.
You got a job interview today?
Yeah, I gotta be there in an hour, and I can't get this paint off.
That's why we're here. Let's go, guys. Smile. Look them right in the eye. You got this. You can do it. Go get them. Let's go.
43,000 CSU Ram alums call Denver home. Now it's easier for Denver Ram fans to stay connected with CSU. Visit the all-new Colorado State University Denver Center, where all Ram alums will feel at home. You can make professional connections, enjoy events with other alumni. You can even show your Ram pride with all the best CSU fan gear. Stay connected with CSU. Visit us at 17th and Glenarm or online at rams5280.colostate.edu.
Well, what an atmosphere, and of course, it was always great to see Joe Spina, better known as the dancing band man, back. He had graduated, Tim, but he came back, especially for that Wyoming game.
Well, you know, it's just, last year it was such a great tradition when he did his dance after the under 4 timeout at the end of the game. Everybody looked forward to Green Day's holiday, ready to roll. And it was really a cool thing. And, you know, Dawn Burton, our cheer coach, had a flash mob going earlier in the game. There can be a lot of cool traditions when you come to a basketball game, and those are starting to develop and take hold, and it really makes for an enjoyable night, especially when the home team gets a win.
Yep, we're going to change it up a little bit on the show coming up next week. We'll be joined by some members of that pep band right here on set, so tune in coming up next week. All right, looking ahead, a huge game coming up on Tuesday night for Tim's squad as they take on New Mexico. Lobos ranked 18th in the nation now after a couple of top 25 wins. Hottest team in the conference, alone at the top of first place. They've won 7 straight.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, our next 3 games are against ranked opponents. One of them on the road, 2 of them at home. The last ranked opponent we saw was San Diego State. We had a chance to beat at home. And that was really an exciting ball game. We're going to need to do the same. New Mexico is great defensively. They're great rebounding. I'm not talking good, I mean special. And so we're going to have a lot of work cut out for us, and we're going to have to do our best to slow them down. They're a good offensive team, but we're going to have to find a way to consistently be good on offense and handle ourselves on the glass. The only time we've beaten them, like last year we lost 67-61, beat them 68-61, and lost to them 67-63. Those are fairly accurate scores.
Yeah.
And we beat them in rebound. The game we beat them in rebound, and we beat them. So you really got to do a great job on the glass against New Mexico.
They beat you by 32 down at the pit in a game that got away from you late. Do you remind your kids about that game, or do you even need to remind your kids about that game? Perhaps they've been looking forward to this contest.
We'll remind them, and here's why. Because when I looked at the score, it surprised me. So I had forgotten that it was 32. I remember we got our butts kicked. I know it was no good, but when I said, oh my goodness, 32 points, so we'll remind them, there's no doubt. Yeah, that's what coaches do. We're just bad people sometimes, but you have to change behavior, and it's no easy task.
Well, for Colorado State to get the upset win coming up on Tuesday night, certainly they're going to have several good performances, but they'll need a good performance out of the junior from Omaha, Greg Smith. Okay, kick through, right wing, Tar, baseline drive, good feet, Greg Smith.
I started getting recruited as probably about sophomore. Coach Miles fooling himself. That was a big thing. Whenever teams were coming in, they were bringing their assistants, having us come out to their places, but Coach Miles flew in person. And after that, we just kept our relationship building with them. My mom and dad are hoopers. Everybody I've been around has always been a hooper. I mean, even coming from Nebraska where football rules everything, I just always wanted to be a hooper.
Greg Smith, jumper from 18, good. Greg Smith, the junior out of Omaha.
I came out here for elite camp and I saw how beautiful it was. It just all fell together. I really felt comfortable coming out here. Yeah, I like living in Fort Collins. It's a little different than Omaha, but it's a really good place.
Ike Martin, good feet on the inside, and was thrown down.
When I grew up, I played on the playground. I played in a lot of venues where flair was something that you wanted to have a little bit. You would look to be kind of lame if you were just too sticky with the ball. But you just start to get a little flair from playing around in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And just doing it on a bigger scale is just something that I like to do.
Good fake, good feed to Trevor Williams, who lays it in.
Over the years, I've modeled my game after so many players. My favorite player ever is Penny Hardaway. So that probably was where I get a lot of the flair from. Just trying to be a big guard that can handle the ball and make a lot of plays off the dribble. Right now, I'm just trying to find my niche because I'm not as good as those players right now, and I'm not as talented. But I just gotta work for me and just see what I can do with my abilities.
Slides, attacks the rim to the right, lays it up, got it to go.
Having Dwight there, it's kind of normal. He's always played up, and when we've always been on the same team, and so having him here is just another day.
Way down, lip fake, steps in on Williams, Baker's go.
We're on the rise. And so, that's something that the program is really building on, and just trying to become a program to say they're going to win. They're going to do the right things. They're going to win the right way. And next year we're going to be really good, and I hope the year after that, after I'm gone. So, it's just, this is really a program that is on the rise, and people should look out for it.
To the baseline, nowhere to go. Greg Smith, head of the key for the lead. You bet! He buries the three, and Rams are going to win this.
Again, Greg Smith, and I know when you look at this program and its rise here, he is a big part of that.
Oh, Greg was phenomenal on Saturday night. He had a game of a lifetime. He played really well defensively. He's great on offense, and he's a huge key for us getting over the top.
Yep, Rams are a better basketball team when Greg Smith plays well, there's no question. All right, Tim, best of luck on Tuesday night.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, that's Tim Miles. We're going to give him a break here. Coming up next, we'll talk some Colorado State women's basketball. We'll be joined on set by head coach Kristen Holmes. Stay with us here on the Ram Report.
Stay in touch with the Rams by visiting us on Facebook, YouTube, or follow us on Twitter. You follow us and we'll follow you.